From KC24, your local election headquarters, with your host, Alexan Balakian. This is Sunday Morning Matters.
And good Sunday morning to you. I'm Alexan Balakian. Thank you for joining us. And please join the conversation on Twitter at RealAlexan. Use the hashtag Sunday Morning Matters. Along the way, Fresno City Council member Luis Chavez reveals that an old housing plan has been squatting on millions of taxpayer dollars. But first, dreamers in the valley now await their fate.
I choose to speak because I am tired of appearing weak.
More than 5,000 in the Central Valley will possibly lose their job, will possibly have to stop going to school, will possibly be deported.
The uncertainty of their future weighing heavily on thousands of dreamers across the Central Valley. Dozens rallying in downtown Fresno Tuesday night as the fate of the DACA program in the hands of the High Court now. President Donald Trump looking to end the program that President Barack Obama signed into law back in 2012. It shields immigrants who came here as babies or kids from deportation. It's not only impacting thousands here in the valley, but the decision could hit California the hardest. Our Capitol Bureau reporter Ashley Zavala with more in Sacramento.
Dozens of dreamers and their supporters sending a message to the United States Supreme Court.
Home is here.
California has more DACA recipients than any other state in the country.
Being undocumented means that you're stuck in one place. You're not allowed to go move forward or to move backwards. And today, with everybody here standing behind me, alongside me, I feel like I can finally take a step forward.
Tuesday's rally came as the nation's highest court heard arguments for and against the program that protects 700,000 undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. when they were children, either illegally or with families that overstayed their visas.
I've been trying to stay very, very hopeful.
Maria was born in Peru.
If it gets turned down, I lose my job. What happens with my education? Will probably have to, lose the house that my mom and I are in because I'm the bigger income in this family, and the fact that I can lose it all just over one simple decision, it definitely has me very uncertain.
Some dreamers feeling vulnerable by sharing their undocumented status, but they say they hope their stories and their situation will make an impression even on those who can't fully relate.
Their journeys are incredible.
It did on Jeff Peck.
Trump administration is trying to take that gift away for no reason other than the fact that the gift was given to us by President Obama. I'm outraged.
Ashley Zavala reporting there in Sacramento, and one of the groups making sure their voices are heard all the way to the Supreme Court is Familia Vota. The California State Director, Samuel Molina. How are you, sir? Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, first and foremost, what's the level of concern here? I mean, you were out there in downtown Fresno. What's the level of concern that the Supreme Court will ultimately side with President Trump? Because that's what we're hearing.
Well, very much on high alert, right? I mean, everybody's wondering what's going to happen with the Supreme Court decision. We won't hear anything until spring. I have individuals, close friends who, are DACA recipients and are, concerned because they have children of their own and they have a job because they have a work permit. And if they lose that work permit, they lose that job. And how do they take care of their families?
One could argue if Congress would just have figured out a common sense solution to the immigration crisis, this all could have been avoided.
Well, I think Congress has definitely missed the opportunity to pass a comprehensive immigration reform policy, and this can certainly be avoided. I've had several questions. What happens with the Supreme Court? Regardless of the decision, whether we get a favorable decision or not, it doesn't stop at the Supreme Court. Ultimately, Congress has to pass an immigration reform package.
And with that being said, is this really President Trump's fault, or is this President Obama's fault for not working with Congress when he was president to try to come up with a new immigration reform policy? Well, who's to blame in the eyes of the activists and the groups?
I would say the pressure is really on Congress, right? We don't want to put blame on either of the presidents. I would say it's Congress. Both bodies have to work together. The House and the Senate have to work together to make sure that a comprehensive immigration reform policy moves forward, because then it gets to the president's desk, right?
Well, President Trump even tweeting earlier this week, he said that he is ready to work out a new deal for dreamers if the Supreme Court rules in his favor to end the DACA program. So do you feel that there is a little light at the end of the tunnel when he tweets that?
Well, I'm always hopeful, right? And I would say that regardless whether he should want an immigration reform policy whether they vote against him or not. And Senator Mitch McConnell should be working with his colleagues to get something through the Senate, because I think that there have been policies that move forward through the House and aren't getting through the Senate.
I guess really, I know you're hopeful, because that's your job. You're the California State Director.
Right.
But tell me what Dreamers are feeling. I mean, do they believe President Trump will help them in the end? Do they believe it, or they don't believe that?
I would say after everything that he's done in immigration policy and the way he's treated the immigrant community, I would say that they're not very hopeful that he would help them. So
at the end of the day, if the Supreme Court rules in President Trump's favor here to end the DACA program, they really fear they're going to be deported the next day?
I would say many of them have that fear. That's correct.
Really? And that's pretty scary.
That's right. And then, you also have the fear of, again, losing your job. You're not being able to take care of your family. And I'm sure that you saw the video of the individual who was getting picked up here in Fresno the other day. And that's a very real fear, right, in our communities. And who do you go to reach out to help? How do you get how do you get somebody on the line really quickly to help you and your family when something like that happens? And this is going to affect about 5,000 Dreamers just here in the Valley. We know there's over 200,000 across in California. So what's the next move? What are activists and groups like Familia Vota doing to really be heard at the Supreme Court level? I know that there was a bunch of rallies this week, and we know that because arguments were being heard. But what's the next step, even though we have to wait all the way until, I believe it's June, to hear the decision? What's going to happen is we're going to continue to keep up pressure to pass an immigration reform policy, things like the DREAM Act. We're going to get out the vote, right? We're mobilizing in each of our states. We're in California, Nevada, Texas, Colorado, Florida, and Arizona. And we're going to continue to mobilize our communities to make sure that they show up on March 3rd to vote and make their voices heard. Because, again, that's the only way it's really going to make a difference. I think, talking with you, one thing really kind of just popped in my head here. The impeachment investigation right now that is going on in front of the public right now, could it be just a big distraction to really the bigger problem here? Coming up with an immigration policy that fits for Dreamers? It's almost as if the impeachment hearings now could delay more important things like this. And I'm not saying that the impeachment thing is not important. I'm just saying maybe for the Dreamers, do they see it that way? I would say immigrant rights groups are staying focused on the end goal, right, with what we ultimately want. And so regardless of, again, what's going on with the impeachment hearings, we're staying focused on what we want, right, and that's an immigration reform. But Congress is not, right? You need Congress to pass the bill for immigration reform. So that's what I'm asking you guys. These are real kitchen table issues that Congress may be putting on the back burner right now because they're worried about the impeachment hearings. Do you guys believe that? See that? I would say no. And the reason for that is because, again, I'm the person who always has to remain hopeful. I always have to keep the pressure on our elected officials to do the right thing. So regardless of what's happening over here, we've got to keep them focused on what we want to happen here, right, when it comes to immigration reform. We'll finish with this. At the end of the day here, I know that they're fearful, the Dreamers, you know that, you hear it firsthand. Is there a good outcome in all of this? In your heart of hearts? When you say a good outcome, you're referring to the Supreme Court decision, or are you talking about Congress coming up with an immigration policy? I think that it may have to wait till the next election. Okay, 2020 then, huh? Right. All right. Appreciate the time. Samuel Molina here. Thank you. All right, up next, he's back. For the first time since the 2016 presidential race, Senator Bernie Sanders making his way back to the Valley. Is he the front runner to win the California primary? Our panel weighs in.